Road. The request is that you consider a report on the retention of Las Posas Road on the city's circulation element. Jerry, do you need the...
Paul, are you giving the... Who's giving the...
Planning Director Jerry Backoff will
Gary's going to give
Mr.
it?
Mayor.
Okay.
Susie, if you could turn on the computer. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, City Council discussed the city's circulation element amendment process back in February 28th of this year. The County Board of Supervisors is scheduled to make a decision on the preferred county 2020 circulation network August 2nd, based upon a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors by the Planning Commission that will be discussed this Friday. There's also continued concerns raised by the county and Santa Fe Hills residents over the extension as well as environmental review of that extension. In terms of the analysis, RBF Consulting conducted independent review of the Las Posas Road extension. On my right is Don Wilson, who has worked with the city on a lot of traffic projects, analysis projects. This is not a new study. This is basically RBF was asked to take a look at the existing modeling that was done for the city by RBF and compare it to some of the things we've seen come out of the county, basically, and pinpoint some of the discussions that relates to the extension itself.
A quick question. I see the date on the report was July 19th. When was this study initiated? When did it start?
Well, we've been working last few years on the modeling efforts under the North County sub-area model, basically. We've asked RBF this last week to pull the information together as it relates to interpretation of that modeling and compare it to the counties.
So this isn't something new that was done in the last few months? Okay.
The modeling the city participated in was done in 04.
Can I just ask a quick question?
2004.
Just kind of a historical. The council on February 28th said, don't spend any money, don't do any studies, traffic studies, or anything like that. We're going to wait for the County Board of Supervisors, but here we are with a quasi-traffic study, et cetera. So how did that happen without a vote of the council, or why did that happen? How did that happen that we're now here where we are?
I'll take a shot at that. I wasn't here to hear your direction on that, but my understanding is, or at least our interpretation of that, it was that we not undertaking a further modeling or detailed analysis. What Don and RBF have prepared for us is really an overview of the existing modeling that was done in 04, and it's a comparison contrast that information against what the county has done, in both cases with the assistance of Sandag, to try and make sense out of it in plain English. So it's really not a new study per se. It's an overview. It's basically a letter with some attachments to it, trying to make sense in plain English of the competing analyses that were done prior.
On the overhead is a view of the general plan circulation element, and the red areas is northwest quadrant of the city that basically is of discussion tonight. There was public questions about the 1987 circulation element that was the focus of the Las Posas Road realignment from Rancho Santa Fe Road extension to Buena Creek, and this shows that it was adopted by the city in 1987. As I indicated, the northwest quadrant of the city is the focus tonight. It's served by 5 circulation routes.
Wait a minute, Jerry. Could you go back to that Rancho Santa Fe thing again? Back in when council adopted it?
1987.
But wasn't Rancho Santa Fe pulled?
Yes.
And when was that pulled?
Right before that.
Huh?
Right before that.
Well, how could we adopt the Rancho Santa Fe extension and it had already been pulled?
No, you had discussion on it. It was originally on a circulation route and it was taken off. Basically, what 1987 map shows was the Las Posas Road as the primary north and south connection road.
After Rancho Santa Fe was pulled off.
Right.
Okay. Rancho Santa Fe was scheduled to extend clear up to Buena Creek.
That's correct.
With the project that was on the books at that time.
That's correct.
And it was removed by what?
Well, there was a lot of discussion, and there was an amendment to eliminate that. And as a result of that elimination, Las Posas Road was put in its place.
So if Rancho Santa Fe would have been to the west of Paloma, then they wouldn't have had Las Posas up through their community. Is that what I'm seeing?
That would have been the north-south route
Okay.
as opposed to Las Posas.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just a clarification, Jerry, so that everyone understands it. Back in '87 or thereabouts, what you're saying is that Rancho Santa Fe was going through to Buena Creek at some point in time. That was on the circulation element.
That's right.
That was changed by council, I assume,
That's correct.
Yes.
to go to Las Posas instead,
That's correct.
back in
No,
'87.
No.
Prior to 87.
It was just pulled off, Jerry.
Prior to.
We didn't jump it over. We didn't put it to Las Posas until that development came in.
When you adopted the college area community plan, basically, and there was a lot of discussion that led up to that discussion, Las Posas was made as the primary north-south route.
Okay.
That's correct.
In replacement in lieu of taking the other one on. Okay, thank you.
But it was, Hal, to explain to it was the majority of the council that did it, not
Oh,
the
I'm sure.
council.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Again, to summarize the 5 circulation routes that service this quadrant of the city, east to west roads, we have Mission Road. On the south, it's north of Highway 78. We have Borden Road, and we have Buena Creek as the primary east-west roadways. North-south roadways are Twin Oaks Valley Road and Las Posas, and you can see at the end the blue dashed lines are the potential extension that's consistent with the circulation element. The lettering also indicates the classification of the roads as indicated by the legend. 4U typically is 4-lane undivided as opposed to a 6-lane divided or whatever the designation is on those links. There was 2 traffic modeling efforts that have been done recently. The North County Suburban Traffic Model. That is the model that the city has been involved with 4 other jurisdictions in North County, as well as Sandag and RBF. There's also a county traffic model that also tested alternative circulation networks that they're about to discuss amongst the County Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors. It's important to note that the traffic model assumptions as they relate into how the volumes are generated and how that plays. The assumptions is that the build-out of there's no build-out of the county land use plan. Typically, with our model, the North County jurisdictional models, all the cities project build-out of all their land use areas and full build-out, whereas the county hasn't done that. Also assumes I-15 will be widened to 10 lanes plus 2 HOV lanes, whereas the city's model only models it at 8 lanes. And the modeling by the county does not take into consideration proposed Stonegate development in the upper Twin Oaks Valley, which would add approximately 5,000 average daily trips. Traffic modeling conclusions from those modeling efforts from the county is that the county's 2030 model run projects Las Posas Road to carry 13,600 average daily trips. This volume projection is consistent with the city's model run for North County Suburban Traffic Model with the jurisdictional model. Therefore, its conclusion that Las Posas Road needs to be 4 lanes to maintain a circulation element level service standard of D. In your packet, you have a table that shows different classification of roads and what is triggering the service levels of A through F, which is failure. And it's important to note when you have volumes that it correlates to levels of service, basically. Furthermore, in terms of the conclusions of the traffic modeling, Las Posas Road is as a 2-lane collector by the county. It operates at LSF. That's failure because it is only a 2-lane roadway, and it cannot handle the over 13,000 trips per day. Las Posas Road is a 4-lane secondary arterial, which is the city's current classification, would operate at LOSB. The county staff recommendation that will be presented to their board will be to retain Las Posas Road on the county circulation element, but only as a 2-lane collector. And it was primarily reading the staff report of the county based upon potential impacts to the MSCP preserve system in this particular area. Staff feels that the impact created by the road extension can be mitigated to retain the capacity of the regional arterial system, and that circulation roads throughout the region have gone through preserve areas with mitigation. It's not the best situation, but they can be mitigated. We've seen many of these with the Scripps Highway Parkway, Twin Oaks Valley Road, and some other ones in Chula Vista are being currently planned go through preserve areas. But there's a balance between the environmental mitigation and the need for circulation. We'll get into two documents that that have looked at the regional areas, basically the North County Parkway Plan, which was a collaborative effort of the various North County jurisdictions to assess regional improvement projects and to put priorities on those projects. This plan also identified the need for and established a regional road linkage, which included Las Posas Road and Buena Creek as well. The Sandag Regional Transportation Plan also outlines the regional network links that it feels is necessary to provide access to the state highway network. Las Posas, again, is included as part of this plan and network. It's a feeling that the removal of this Las Posas road connection would impact the integrity of the regional circulation system as well as the mobility of the region. Implications of removal of Las Posas Road from the circulation element: it would require redistribution of the over 13,000 average daily trips on the remaining circulation network, that is primarily Twin Oaks Valley Road and Borden Road, as well as Buena Creek. It is estimated that 80% of this 13,000 would be distributed to Twin Oaks Valley Road. Without Las Posas, Twin Oaks Valley Road would go deficient in terms of our LOS criteria and would be at LOSE.
Jerry, before you go any further, go back to that one, please. Now, where would that 13,000 come from?
That's if Las Posas Road didn't go north to tie into Buena Creek. That would be the projected future volumes from that road that would have to be distributed on the other existing roads.
Where would the 13,000 come from?
That become traffic modeling that the county did. That was the county's number, basically, that would indicate, take all the land use that would be built, at least in the county standpoint, wouldn't be totally built out, but would be a majority of their build out, and where would those trips be distributed. And those are the links that they projected would handle the trips if they were out there.
So you're saying that the 13,000 would come from the county into our city through Las Posas? Is that what you're saying?
Intra-regional trips.
Okay, thank you.
There's also discussion and concern on environmental review of Las Posas. Las Posas was part of previous environmental documents, none of which were timely challenged. And it's important to note that there is no final design. I mean, there's not even a preliminary design for Las Posas Road. Typically, when you do a CIP project of a road link or connection for construction, you typically are about 90 or to 100% design, basically, so you know exactly where it's going to go, exactly the alignment implications, what happens on the ground, basically from an environmental impact standpoint. And since that doesn't exist, so you really can't do an environmental analysis of that road extension. It will be required to be done before actual construction, if it does take place. We have to go forward. So no environmental review can be conducted at this point in time until that occurs. At this point in time, staff recommend a note and file. Any questions of staff or consultants at this time?
Any questions, staff? Okay, Jerry, thank you. I do suppose we have a few speakers.
We're up to about 23 speakers.
How many?
23
Okay.
at this moment.
Can you give one on deck so we can kind of get
Sure.
going?
We'll start with Dorotha Seligman, followed by Bob Conway.